Well, it was just a few weeks ago when I made the stunning and shocking announcement that I, for the last 3 or 4 years, have really always been hard stuck plat. In this video talking about I've achieved gaming enlightenment, I discussed my history of making a living in the space despite being just not that good at the games and literally being hard stuck platinum the whole time. And we talked about the mental game and how I finally kind of cracked through my hard stuckness and believed I was about to start making some crazy progress by working with great coaches and basically just improving my mental game because I realized the mental game is everything. Well, now it's the end of the September parallel season. Parallel is the main game I've been focused on competitively for the month of September. I also got top 50 in Champions, still doing good over in Champions. But this parallel grind arc has been the focus because that's where I've really been struggling and where I've had the most opportunity for improvement. So, I ended up in the top 300 and I ended up in Diamond 5. So one notch above Platinum 1. But that's not actually what matters. What I actually want to talk about here is the mental game implications. So most content creators in this spot would have some kind of post like, oh, I tried to get top 100 and it just didn't work out this time, but next time I will work harder. I will dedicate myself. I will make it happen. And that's definitely not me. I'm focused on what actually matters, not on the top 100 like grind to master thing. I think we all know that when everyone just talks about top 100 over and over, it's kind of boring. Like you're either top 100 or you're not. That content is, what's fun is the gameplay content, seeing high level play. People just talking about wanting to be high ranks is not the most exciting content sometimes, to be completely honest. No offense to anybody. So what I'm focused on is the relative trajectory, man. And this is what actually matters. This is like gaming enlightenment continue, just to really knock in and lock in what this is about. In the first half of the month of September, I won less than 50% of my games. Every time I queued up, I was losing ranks. Like, the more games that I play, the more ranks that I would lose. This is bad. And so in the second half of the month, I entered the mental game arc. I hired Muka as my private coach, and I had my first session with Muka, started tracking my games following his method, and just started working on it. I'm happy to say in the last week of September, I did achieve a 53% win rate against Diamond and Master players. And 53 is a lot higher than like the 45%, 40% that I had before. Of course, 53 is still like really close to 50, but technically, every game I play, I'm climbing ranks. And I want to encourage everyone watching this, all you guys who are trying to get better as well, you got to focus on your relative trajectory, which means relative versus absolute. Relative is the change over time. Absolute is just where you are today. So if you're focused on your absolute rank of I am not top 100, I need to be top 100, that will not help you get better. All that does is increase your stress and actually decrease your capacity for training and practice. And of course, most people who are hard stuck aren't even thinking about it as training or as practice or as studying. They're thinking about it as grinding, and I just got to queue back up. Every time you're just queuing back up on your grind while your win rate is under 50%, you're not accomplishing anything. There is no chance. Even if you get lucky for 10, 20, 30 games, you'll then eventually get unlucky again. Even if someone else could tell you every card to play all the way up to master, as soon as they're not in the voice chat with you, you're going to start losing all your games and crashing back down. Even if you grind up the first day of the season, like I did in September, and you get top 100 off of the unranked day, as soon as the ranks kick in, you're going to start losing, and you're going to have a win rate well below 50%. So, absolute isn't helpful. Relative is helpful. It's your win rate over time. You can even think of 1% per day, literally. A beginner who might have 30, 40% or even lower against diamond and above players could probably literally increase their skill and their mental game and their process, where they would literally, on average, win 1% more games per day for the first 2, 3, 4 weeks. Like, during your beginner gains, like, time, you can get 1% more wins per week, or per day, sorry. So that'd be like 5 to 10% more wins per week for a few weeks while you're first starting. Because, like, you're probably playing really badly and there's tons of room for improvement. Just like if you played chess and you just kind of tried to figure it out yourself, you'd suck ass. You got to actually study the openings, study from coaches, use the tools that are available, work with other people if you're really serious, do the chess puzzles, all that crap. play the games, review the games. If you don't do it, everyone else is, or other folks will do it, and you will be worse than them. And it's the relative, right? In the second half of the month, I won more games than in the first half of the month. I ended at Diamond 5, and next season I hope I'll at least end at Diamond 4, 3, 2. I'll eventually end in Master, but I'm not even like October, it has to be Master rank. That's not it. I just have to win a higher percent of my games, and ideally I will manifest a higher rank at the end of the season. That would be relative. I mean, this basically locks it in, right? Just get higher, get above 278th place, and I'm pretty much improving in terms of win rate. And if you play enough games, which you have to get high ranks anyway, 300, 400, 500 games a month, RNG is a thing, but like it'll even out, Even if you have a slightly worse or better month than you deserved, that'll even out over a few months. So it's just not focusing on RNG, not focusing on absolute win rate, just relative win rate. And just, I'll read the last few lines of this long tweet that I did. Just, it really brings it home. If your win rate is under 50% at Diamond, that makes you hard stuck Platinum. There is no point in doing more quantity of grind until your win rate is at least a solid 55 to 60%. Less than that, and you won't climb ranks consistently anyway. This is why I'm feeling strong, or why I'm feeling confident that I'll rank higher next season, because I have my process locked in, my team locked in, and I'm improving my mental game every day. It's juicing. 1% per day really works, and I'm excited to see this play out in October. There's a million things I could use as excuses and things that could get in my way, but I'm just trying to do the right things and just optimize to play better so I can win more games. And of course, as you guys know by now, if you're watching this, mental game is the only way to do that. So a little follow-up on the gaming enlightenment. It's happening in real time. Excited to see how October goes. We'll do a ton of streams, and we'll get to really see if I can keep my relative win rate going up. I hope so, man. But that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Flux signing out.